Opposed? Then the minutes are accepted. Next is the NYSERDA Clean Energy Communities Program Grant.
Okay, this is mainly the largest reason to call this meeting.
Opposed? Then the
Sorry,
minutes are accepted. Next is the NYSERDA Clean Energy Communities Program Grant.
1 second, folks.
Okay,
Sorry about that. I had turned on the live stream on YouTube, and you were just hearing the live stream recording, so I apologize about that.
I thought we were doing a reenactment of last night.
Let's not go there, okay, Scott? We'll just leave that alone. Okay, so the NYSERDA Clean Energy Communities Grant, this is a grant that we were authorized to apply for, I think, back in July, if not sooner. This represents the next iteration of our work on the Clean Energy Communities Program. The program has been managed by Todd Fabozzi, and again, due to his leadership and good work on the first iteration of the program, we were successful at securing another multi-year, multi-million-dollar grant for the operations and administration of our Clean Energy Communities Program. Again, the program will, CDRPC will be the prime contractor, and have subcontracts with a variety of partners that will really deploy the program in an area that covers half the state. I've attached to your board packet the full contract with NYSERDA. The proposal outlined in our original proposal submitted to NYSERDA includes a $5.3 million project over 5.5 years. The contract is structured in increments, the first increment being 18 months and the 2 subsequent increments of the contract being for 24 months. And you'll note that I did make a mistake on the memo and just referencing that each increment was 18 months, where in fact the next 2 are 24 months. CDRPC previously had a match requirement of 25% for these funds. That has shifted down to 10% in aggregate across the entire grant. The estimated revenues to CDRPC for the grant each year is just under $350,000. Board action is being requested to authorize me to execute the NYSERDA agreement and the sub-agreements necessary to deploy the program and execute any subsequent extensions to these agreements. Any questions?
How many years was the first contract, Mark?
Todd?
it lasted 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
I was thinking 3, but.
Well, Todd was able to, through his creativity, extend it as far as possible.
Yeah, it was originally supposed to be 3, and they asked us to try to stretch it.
Well, 5.5 seems like a long duration for something like this.
I mean, this is great to be able to have this at this time and have that kind of stability for that long of a period of time. So, just really thankful that we're able to get something like this.
I agree.
Are there any more questions?
Are we looking for a motion?
Yep, can we have a motion to accept the NYSERDA Clean Energy Communities Program Grant?
I would like to make that motion.
Second?
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then it's accepted. The next item on the agenda is appointing an EDA CARES Act Subaward Committee.
Great, thank you. As you may recall, we were awarded $400,000 in CARES Act funding to assist with COVID-19 recovery relief. A component of that program, we earmarked $200,000 to provide subawards to local and regional economic development organizations, really the organizations that have boots on the ground to do the hand-holding with businesses and provide the direct assistance and have the relationships with those businesses. In order to effectively oversee the program and to meet the requirements of the federal funding that we have to spend and administer, the Economic Development District, must provide some oversight. We also understand that, county endorsement is very important just to make sure these funds are being directed to the economic development entities that, the counties would feel that would be most helpful. So in order to tee up this program and position it for approval from the EDA, I requested that the chair appoint a committee to oversee the work of CDRPC as it relates to these subawards. The committee's role will be to evaluate the subaward criteria that we would put out there, to evaluate the subaward proposals themselves, and then recommend funding of those subawards to the full commission for approval. So Chairman Swinton not appointed Lucy McKnight from Albany County, Michael Stammel representing Rensselaer County, Craig Warner from Saratoga County, and Gary Hughes from Schenectady County. And the board action here is establishing this committee, authorizing them to approve the eligibility criteria for the subawards and recommend any awarded amounts to the commission for full approval. Now I will mention, let me just admit Lucy, she's coming on the line now. I will mention the tremendous amount of work that it takes to spend federal money. And this goes for all of our economic development programs. It seems that you need to invest at least $2 worth of effort to spend $1 worth of money. And I'd just like to recognize Kate Maynard for her diligent work, not only in securing and drafting the proposal and communicating with our partners to help us frame out this program and project, but also recognizing the continued work that she's going to be doing to make sure that this money is invested wisely, and the work that she's going to be doing to struggle filling out the paperwork and communicating with all the federal granting agencies about crossing the T's and dotting all the I's while trying to be as flexible as possible with the program, which is not an easy thing to do. So in a nutshell, board action here is just requested to, formally establish that committee and authorize that committee to oversee the subaward program.
So could I ask for a motion to appoint the committee?
I'll move
A
it.
motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then it's approved. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the administrative contract with the Troy Local Development Corporation.
Great. Similar to our role with the EDA, we serve as a local development district for the purposes of the Northern Border Regional Commission. And to refresh your memory, 3 counties in our service area are included in that, and that's Saratoga, Rensselaer, and Schenectady County. Albany County was left out. Apparently it's not close enough to the border with Canada to be included in the commission's service area. However, this new designation for us and the counties that were included opens up opportunities for new grants. And so this is the first year we've been playing this role as a local development district. We get reimbursed for our work as the local development district on the back end from any grants awarded. And this contract is really to articulate our services between us and the grantee. In this case, the grantee being the Troy Local Development Corporation. And the contract essentially stipulates the work that we will do and what we can essentially submit for reimbursement to them for. So this is, again, the first time out that we're doing it like this with this new kind of grant program and a new federal commission that we're working with. But in the long term, it's going to be, I think, a significant role for CDRPC to play in terms of bringing more federal economic development dollars into the region. And certainly this project in Troy that has been funded will be a learning process. And again, I'd just like to recognize Kate Maynard. Somehow you have managed to corral all the federal money and the management of all the federal contracts. So, again, this is one of those situations where it's going to take a significant amount of work to make sure that we dial in this administrative process this first time, so that in the future it can be, I think a really a lot easier to do this. But again, this is a basic service contract with the grant awardee, the Troy Local Development Corporation. Any questions?
Is so the $14,000 that comes out of the $1 million award? Because Kate would be.
It does. It's up to $14,000. So our original understanding is that we'd be able to charge a flat fee for our services. However, the contract and the underpinning regulations stipulate that we can only charge actual time on the job.
Mhm.
So we can charge our fringe and obviously our overhead rate, but it's going to be a direct relationship to time on the job. So it's not as advantageous as I originally thought when they announced this program to begin with.
And the Troy Local Development Corp, they'll receive the $1 million upon completion of the project, but they'll fund our time in the project upfront. Is that how it's being crafted?
It's not an upfront payment, it's a reimbursement payment. So we'll have to submit to them essentially a bill, and then they will have to include our bill in with their drawdown request, which needs to be submitted on a quarterly basis to the Northern Border Regional Commission.
Okay, so they draw down the money. That's what I was just trying to get at. Okay. It sounds good not to have to wait until everything's built, and that could take some time. So it sounds like a nice process. Congratulations, Kate and Mark.
Thank you.
Very
It's a great
good,
project
very
for
good.
Troy.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
And could we have a motion to approve the administrative contract with the Troy Local Development Corporation?
Make that
I'll
motion.
make that I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then it's approved. Is there any other business to come before the board?
I just wanted to chime in with just noting that the NYSERDA grant, once the new program is announced, there's going to be tens of thousands up to several $1 million in local project funding available to the counties and the local communities through this program. And so Jill and Tara will be working with the different communities to be able to get you through the steps to qualify for that grant funding. So we will be reaching out to you. I'm thinking we should have some kind of a strategy session, maybe especially with some of the counties where we weren't able to make headway at the county level, Rensselaer and Saratoga, and try to solicit your input and support to how we can engage in the counties. And for those of you like St. Mike, with your, now in the mayor, we're going to be reaching out to you for Rensselaer, and everyone else who represents the community will be reaching out to you. But just wanted to let you know that there's going to be some really good opportunities for some grant-free project funding coming forward.
That's great. That's great. Thank you.
Very good, very good.
Now, Christian, you're going to reach out to us for when the meeting is going to be held.
Well, what we'll do with you is and I think Jill is, we assign different communities. I think Jill is Rensselaer. She'll reach out to you and just try to set up a meeting with you to talk over the program and go over how you can benefit from it. One of the strategies that we're going to try to put out this time around is to call county level meetings. We thought it would be good to have a county by county, there would be remote meetings like this, where we would have some of the communities who have benefited from the program the first time talk about their experiences. So some of the other communities who have not been a part of it could potentially be swayed by just peer-to-peer sharing. And of course, we'll just do an overview of the whole program at that time, and then a follow-up with individual communities who want to move forward.
Good.
And just a note for the members that were appointed to the Subaward Committee, I'll be reaching out to schedule a kickoff meeting, and at that time I'll share our preliminary draft materials with you all for review.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay.
Just one
All
question.
right.
Are we going to continue with having Zoom meetings until notified otherwise?
Well, for the foreseeable future, I think, as Bill noted early on, we may be able to do with a limited in-person attendance in our office, but we cannot accommodate under the current rules of the full board or the majority of the board in our conference room. So we'll definitely have the online option for sure moving forward, but we may also open up some limited number of individuals to come to the office if they'd like to do that.
Mhm. But this will always be an option then.
Well, it depends on the rules, the rules that they, establish. We're still under the modification and the emergency rules that keep on being extended. So if the new rules say that, our members don't have to put in the public meeting notice their physical location,
Mhm.
then I think that would make this a viable option to continue moving
Mhm.
forward. But if, the devil's always in the details with the requirement.
Okay.
Okay, if there's no further business, our next meeting is going to be on October 21st at 10 a.m. Could I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then we are adjourned.
Thank
Pleasure
you.
seeing
Thank you.
everybody. Stay safe
Thank
out
you.
there.
Yeah, take care. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Hi, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.